Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking the exact mathematical blueprint on how to retire in 10 years, starting with just $50,000. Look, if you've ever found yourself staring at a compound interest calculator at 2 a.m., desperately hoping for a way out of the daily grind, you are in the right place. Let's get right into it. Okay, we're going to kick things off with a bit of a mystery straight from our sources. Meet Alden and Fay. They're both 34 years old, and on the exact same day, they both invested the exact same amount, 50 grand. Fast forward 10 years, they're 44. Fay retires completely, walks away. Alden, he's still grinding away at his job. So what gives? It wasn't that Fay had superhuman discipline, it wasn't some lucky market spike, and get this, they literally held the exact same funds. Well, if you looked at their desks on the night they started investing, the real difference is staring you right in the face. Fay had her husband's laptop sitting right next to hers. Alden had, well, a pizza box he was using as a mouse pad. The secret here wasn't the investment vehicle itself. It was the absolute power of a second income source. That second income protected Fay, meaning her investments could just sit there and compound, completely untouched. To pull off this 10-year retirement goal yourself, we're going to walk through an exact 4-step architectural blueprint pulled straight from our source material. We'll be covering 1. Escaping the debt trap, 2. The single salary risk, 3. Building recurring second incomes, and 4. The investment engine. Step 1. Escaping the debt trap. Stop paying the past. Seriously, the lack of financial literacy out there is pretty terrifying. Take this real quote from the sources. We have someone who legitimately called her mom, fully expecting her to be proud that she hit $4,000 in credit card debt. Yeah, you heard that right. She literally thought it meant she was leveling up. She confused a high-interest loan with a personal achievement, all because nobody ever sat her down and explained that swiping a piece of plastic isn't free money. And the really crucial point here is that massive debt is usually completely self-inflicted through lifestyle creep. Just look at the breakdown for this 22-year-old sitting on over $100,000 in debt. The student loan, the thing we're always told is the big, scary monster of your 20s, is actually the smallest sliver here at just under $8 grand. The real damage? Almost $38,000 in credit cards and an unbelievable $55,000 on a financed, rapidly depreciating car. I mean, that is a generational financial hole dug before their career even really got off the ground. You're going to see a ton of this manifestation financial advice floating around online, telling you that money is just energy and, the more you spend, the more the universe gives back. Listen, you cannot manifest your way out of a 25% APR auto loan. Money is math. Every single dollar of debt you take on is literally future income that you have already spent. If you live like you're already rich today, you are mathematically guaranteeing that your future self starts every single month in the red. Moving on to step 2, the single salary risk, the comfort trap. 75%. That is the staggering, honestly scary percentage of people who do not have a functional emergency fund. They are living paycheck to paycheck, completely exposed, just assuming that their one single source of income is always going to be there tomorrow. But let's look at the reality of what's happening right now. We're seeing a massive tsunami of AI and automation layoffs. The sources point out over 6,700 startup cuts in 2025 alone. And that's not even counting the major companies slashing tens of thousands of roles. Toss in inflation quietly eating away your purchasing power, and those sudden medical emergencies where insurance just doesn't cover the gap. If your job vanished tomorrow, relying on just one salary leaves you with absolutely zero financial bargaining power. You're completely trapped. So, before you even think about fancy investments or compounding returns, you absolutely must build your moat. Here's the play. Step 1, calculate your bare minimum monthly essential expenses: rent, groceries, utilities. Step 2, multiply that exact number by 6. Step 3, save that 6-month emergency runway in a liquid account. Until you do this, you are financially unprotected, period. All right, step 3, building recurring second incomes, protect your investments. Remember Fay from our opening mystery? That second income is the shield that lets your primary investments actually grow. And we see 2 very different paths to building that income here. First, we have Karan, who opened this flashy premium cafe. He is working around the clock, chasing new customers every single day just to keep the lights on. Then we have Mahesh, who started a so-called boring business from a tiny office. Fast forward 3 years, Karan is still on his feet, stressing at the cafe. Mahesh, he's vacationing in Goa with his family, just watching automatic payment notifications roll in on his phone.
The secret to real wealth is actually incredibly simple. You do not want a business model where you have to convince a customer to buy from you every single day. The real magic? It's in recurring contracts. Getting a customer to sign the dotted line once and then pay you every single month for a service they continually need. So, what do these businesses actually look like? Well, they're the boring ones. We're talking commercial cleaning, pest control, strategically placed vending machines, commercial laundry for hotels, tool rental for construction sites. Think about pest control for a busy restaurant. If the owner sees a roach, they aren't bargaining, right? They need an urgent solution, and they will happily sign a monthly contract to make sure it never, ever happens again. These businesses solve urgent, unsexy infrastructure problems and pump out highly stable recurring revenue. The mindset shift you really need to take away from this is profound. Average entrepreneurs chase the flashy new trend or the one-time big sale. Millionaires, they prioritize cash flow and systems. They don't just look at the profit margin, they look at the system and ask, how many times will this exact profit repeat on total autopilot? And finally, step 4, the investment engine. Let the money grow. When it comes to deciding where to actually park your money, so many people assume that paying a high-fee manager for an active mutual fund automatically means better returns. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? Well, actually, 20 years of global data shows us that paying those higher fees for active management very often results in worse long-term returns compared to just passively copying the overall market. For most people, the smartest starting point is an index fund. Just think of it like a school's list of the top 50 students. The fund automatically tracks the market's absolute best-performing companies. Because it doesn't need some expensive research team in suits making guesses, the fees stay incredibly low. This is exactly why legendary investors like Warren Buffett recommend low-cost index funds as the ultimate beginner-friendly wealth builder. But here's the catch. You have to align the fund with your own reality. There is no universal best fund out there. A genuinely amazing financial product becomes a terrible investment if it ends up in the hands of the wrong person. If you're looking at a 10 to 20-year horizon for this retirement blueprint, you are going to thrive on boring, consistent, low-cost index funds or ETFs. You definitely don't want to be chasing aggressive, high-fee, short-term gambles. Which brings us right back to you. I want you to take a hard look at your finances tonight and ask yourself this one final question. Your 10-year clock starts today. Will you be funding your future freedom with a protected, recurring income, or will you be trapped paying off the debt of your past? Because the mathematical blueprint of how to retire in 10 years, it begins with the choices you make right now.